Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Media Box. As usual, my name is Eric Perko, the movie host. Now I understand my reviews are supposed to be unbiased, but the movie I'm about to review is easily one of the best films I have ever watched, and probably one of the greatest films ever made. For your viewing pleasure, I'll be reviewing No Country for Old Men. Also, a quick spoiler reminder, I will be explaining the ending of No Country for Old Men, since the ending caused some confusion. Now, with that aside, let's start the review.
Let me ask you something. What's the most you ever lost in a coin toss?
Look, I need to know what I stand to win.
Everything. Just call it friendo.
Willin, what's in the satchel?
It's full of money.
He's just a guy who happened to find that money.
I got a bad feeling, Llewellyn.
It's a mess, ain't it, Sheriff?
If it ain't, it'll do till the mess gets here.
Based on the 2005 Cormac McCarthy novel of the same name, No Country for Old Men takes place in 1980 West Texas. The paths of three men intertwine when one man finds a fortune that doesn't belong to him. No Country for Old Men is a 2007 American neo-Western thriller directed, written, and edited by Joel and Ethan Coen. No Country for Old Men stars Tommy Lee Jones, Javier Bardem, and Josh Brolin. No Country for Old Men also won 4 Oscars in 2008, including Best Picture, Best Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role, Best Achievement in Directing, and Best Writing Adapted Screenplay.
I'm looking for Llewellyn Moss.
You go up to his trailer.
Yes.
Do you want to leave a message?
Yes.
If I don't come back, you tell Mother I love her.
Your mother's dead.
Well, then I'll tell her myself.
Got a loose cannon here.
You think this boy Moss has got any notion of the sorts that are hunting him?
I don't know, he ought to. He's seen the same things I've seen, and it certainly made an impression on me.
Just how dangerous is he?
Compared to what? The bubonic plague?
No Country for Old Men is filled with suspense and will constantly keep you guessing. No Country for Old Men also follows the book very closely. There were only a few scenes that were actually different from the book. I have noticed now that most movies that are based off of novels don't really follow the books. So I was very glad to see how much this movie followed its book. No Country for Old Men really kept me on the edge of my seat, and I loved every moment. The amount of suspense alone is enough to keep you watching, but there are many things that will keep you interested.
The crime you see now, it's hard to even take its measure. It's just all out war.
You can't stop what's coming. What's this guy supposed to be, the ultimate bad?
You don't understand.
Call it. Call it.
The acting in No Country for Old Men is phenomenal. The performances by Josh Brolin, Javier Bardem, and Tommy Lee Jones are absolutely amazing. Javier Bardem plays Anton Chigurh, a hitman hired to recover the missing money. Chigurh is probably one of the best movie villains ever. Chigurh is very creative and resourceful, making him a huge threat. He doesn't just kill people randomly, but he does it by the flip of a coin. Javier Bardem's performance was so good he won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. Bardem was just so menacing. He was just so perfect for this role. Josh Brolin plays Llewellyn Moss, a Vietnam veteran who flees with $2 million in drug money that he finds in a field in Texas. Tommy Lee Jones plays Sheriff Ed Tom Bell, a laconic, soon-to-retire country sheriff on the trail of Chigger and Moss. Even Woody Harrelson is in the movie. Woody Harrelson plays Carson Wells, a cocky bounty hunter and acquaintance of Chigger, also hired to recover the drug money. When you think about it, there were no good characters in No Country for Old Men. And I loved that. Long story short, the acting was fantastic and the characters were very interesting.
What's the most you ever lost on a coin toss?
Sir?
The most you ever lost on a coin toss?
I don't know. I couldn't say.
Call it.
Call it.
Yes.
For what?
Just call it.
Well, we need to know what we're calling it for here.
You need to call it. I can't call it for you. Well, it wouldn't be fair.
I didn't put nothing up.
Yes, you did. You've been putting it up your whole life. You just didn't know it. You know what date is on this coin?
No.
1958. It's been traveling 22 years to get here. And now it's here. And it's either heads or tails. And you have to say, call it.
Well, look, I need to know what I stand to win.
Everything.
How's that?
You stand to win everything. Call it.
All right. Heads then.
No Country for Old Men didn't focus on huge gunfights or big explosions, but more on character drama and a good amount of violence. There were only 2 shootouts in No Country for Old Men. One was fairly short, and the other was longer and between only 2 people. Javier Bardem also has probably one of the coolest scenes in the entire movie. The editing was awesome. Joel and Ethan Coen did a great job editing this movie. I also especially loved the camera shots. They really caught my attention while I was watching the movie. No Country for Old Men is just one of those movies that had a lot of effort put into it, and it succeeds on every level. Spoiler alert! Now normally I won't do this for my reviews, but No Country for Old Men has an ending that caused a large amount of confusion. So I will be spoiling the ending so I can explain what it means. Now, people didn't really like the ending, and this is understandable. The ending was pretty unlikable, but after watching the movie for a second time, I paid very close attention to the beginning and ending monologues from Sheriff Ed Tom Bell. The plot was never important. You figure that out when Llewellyn dies off screen. The entire movie was actually about Sheriff Bell finding out his place in the universe. You expect Sheriff Bell to confront Chigger in some epic shootout, but really it's Sheriff Bell talking to his wife about 2 dreams he has. The ending wasn't supposed to be good. It was supposed to make you mad, and that's why I liked the ending. It was different.
Anyway, the first one I don't remember too well, but it was about meeting him in town somewhere and he gave me some money. I think I lost it. The second one, it was like we was both back in older times. And I was a horseback going through the mountains of a night, going through this pass in the mountains. It was cold and there was snow on the ground. He rode past me and kept on going, never said nothing going by, just rode on past. And he had his blanket wrapped around him and his head down. When he rode past, I seen he was carrying fire in a horn, the way people used to do, and I could see the horn from the light inside of it, about the color of the moon. And in the dream, I knew that he was going on ahead. And he's fixing to make a fire somewhere out there, and all that dark, and all that cold. I knew that whenever I got there, he'd be there. Then I woke up.
Once again, it's that time. Alright, I give No Country for Old Men a, wait for it, a perfect 10 out of 10. This movie was so amazing. It definitely deserved those Oscars. Now, some people thought that There Will Be Blood should have won Best Picture that year. Sadly, I've yet to see it, so I can't agree. But when I watch it, I will make that decision. But all in all, No Country for Old Men was a cinema masterpiece. I hope you all enjoyed this review, and I will see you guys next time on the Media Box.